Well, hello everyone, and welcome to another banner review. And today we're going to be talking about the Final Fantasy VI event that will be going on. Because now that I have seen the units, it is a good chance to, give my thoughts and impressions. First of all, I'm going to say that for anyone who was hoping that this was going to be an easy pass, you're both going to be excited and not excited about what I have to say. Because I think that it's kind of, well, I think it's a little more complex than that. Let's put it that way. But I wouldn't say that this is a easy sleeper banner. But anyway, we're going to be starting on the 1st, 5 p.m. That is when the FF6 event is going to start. Basically, our usual Mog King. However, it should be noted that this month, apparently, the currency is walnuts. So I guess that universal currency thing was bullshit. That's pretty annoying. I guess Alum also maybe realized that, hey, that's a really stupid idea. So, well, at least for them anyway. Would have been great for me. But moving on, our bonus units will be Celeste, Setzer, and our two new units, Edgar and Sabin. Not much else needed to be said. There will be also that guaranteed 5-star ticket that you can get from just basically doing the event and getting enough points before the event ends. So nothing really new or different there. But let's talk about this banner. First of all, Celeste, still a pretty nice little unit to get your hands on, mainly because of her TMR, which is still a pretty decent piece of, equipment. 47 defense, 45 spirit, and some extra fire, ice, and lightning resistance. Elemental resistance is always good, so getting more Celeste. Too bad she's not a 5-star base, and instead she's a 5-star max. Setzer, definitely a bitter one for a lot of people, reading by some of the comments that have been happening on my videos. First of all, okay. Second of all, I mean, fixed dice still works on old content, so anyway, moving on. Tell your rage somewhere else. Now, let's talk about the new units on this banner, because they are far more interesting. Both Sabin and Edgar are actually really solid units. They kind of fall into the, well, into basically the, general feels like the power creep. So let's talk about Sabin first. Sabin has a materia for his Trust Mastery reward with 60% attack when equipped with a fist. Auto cast, single target, 1800 HP heal with a 1.0 times mod each turn. Pretty good auto heal and 60% attack for fist users. Just generally good for the future, I think. 60% attack is pretty high, so no complaints there. Super Trust Mastery is an accessory, 55 attack with 30% HP and 60% attack when equipped with a fist. Again, great fist user stuff here. That accessory is just insanely powerful for fist users. Tifa would definitely benefit from it. She's the only other really strong fist user I can think of, other than maybe Faye. So if you're into either of those units, this is pretty good super TMR to try and get at least started towards. That's the way I'm kind of treating the talk about super TMRs now. But yes, what about Sabin? Well, Sabin has HP, MP, defense, magic. He has a pretty decent spirit for an attacker, but his base attack is 207 with an extra 65 points put in, and his equipment includes, well, most notably includes fists, spears, and hammers. Now, if you were building him as a true dual hand, as his kit is basically a true dual hand, just beauty, then I gotta say that probably you're going to need to build this guy with spears, I guess. And I do believe the new trial has a very nice spear that I believe is true dual hand. I haven't exactly seen a lot of the data come out yet about it, but if so, if not, then you should probably try spear. Here's hoping that there's a really good true dual hand fist in the future. However the fuck that will work, but yeah, that's kind of what Sabin really needs, and what will probably be the limiting factor to him for at least a little bit. But a 207 base attack with extra 65.5 points put in is an incredibly high base attack that can get really nice and high with this guy. Now, his kit has a lot of different, physical attacks. He has some unarmed, so that's not bad for new players who don't have equipment yet and are complaining about, the nerf. Anyway, but other than that, he has some critical hits. He has ways of giving himself extra damage versus Reapers, as well as using his Spirit as an attack. Don't get too excited. It's not that strong. It's not a chaining ability. So, He has MP recovery per turn. He has a way to actually AoE cure, which makes sense. He's a monk in the game. He has some 10 hits that are used both fire and wind, and also give him evade, 2 attacks for a max of 3 turns. Not generally pretty nice, I gotta say. He also has a way to reduce his HP to 1, and AoE self-cure all ailments, and AoE except self-cure 100% HP. So Sabin's not only just a pretty good attacker, he's also got some nice healing abilities to him. And he can add both water or fire to his regular attacks, as well as regen some MP, give some limit burst, which we'll talk about that in a second, and give some modifiers to his other attacks. Now, in his kit, one of the big things that stood out to me is the fact that he has 200% true dual hand, which frees up a lot of equipment space on this guy. A lot of equipment space. He has dual casting of his abilities. He has a 7-hit back-loaded damage, 8 hit at 6 frames, meaning that he can chain with Axstar very nicely. Also because he has the ability to give himself fire, which means that he can chain with there. Also, the fact that he can give water is probably... Okay, I'm not the biggest Satan expert. There are people in the comments that will probably comment about this, but if you can really, that 8 hits and the water ability, which I believe is what Satan has, then Sabin also pairs really nicely with Satan too. So there you go, and he doesn't require that much equipment either. Now in his 7-star kit, we're still in a 6-star, sorry. He also has a counter ability, which, the counter is, a couple of physical hits and gives him triple cast per turn, so that's good. More casting of his abilities is good. In a 7-star, just for equipping his own TMR, that's where you get the extra 100% to a total of 200% for his true dual hand, 30% extra attack, and 30% spirit, which is great because, if we can get that really great dual hand fist, that'll be good. He has some interesting defense ignoring cooldown that is like a multi 300% hit target, and he also has a way to give himself a big attack boost. So I would say that Sabin's kit is pretty damn solid from the attacker and being able to pair with attackers, if we ever happen to get another 10-man trial ever. But the big thing is his limit burst. For equipping his own TMR, you get up to a here's the thing. Sabin has an ability that basically, if his HP drops below 20%, which he can do that with the use of one of his cooldown abilities. Now, this cooldown ability is on a 10-turn cooldown, but it does give this upgrade for 2 turns. This upgrade increases his limit burst power to a maxed out 3,500% 52 hit physical damage, ignoring 50% defense, that also enables triple cast for 2 turns. The limit burst costs 36 limit burst crystals, but holy ships! 52 hits. I do believe it has quite a few drops in it, but still a 3,500% limit burst that ignores 50% defense. Sabin's might be just a little bit too strong. And considering that you can just, get to 300% true dual hand very quickly, and he has a lot of passives for equipping a fist, if you were to also, just so happen to put, killers on him, or the limit burst damage increasers, Sabin could be insane. Now, the other unit to talk about is Edgar, the other Figaro brother. Now, Edgar is kind of a different story. First of all, materia, 40% attack, 20% MP, 50% machine killer. Super dress mastery, 50 attack accessory. Oh, sorry, the first one was materia, second one's accessory. 50 attack, 50% limit burst fill rate, and status effect immunity. Status effect immunity is nice. I think people are maybe not considering this as good as it actually is. Just making your attacker, status effect resistant kind of makes your life a little bit easier. And it's kind of hard if you want to push as high of attack as you want to. So really like this accessory. Now, stat-wise, pretty decent spirit, better defense than his brother, and 202 base attack with an extra 50 points put in, so he is not going to be the amazing attacker that his brother is, which is fine. This guy turns out just to be all about debuffing. Well, he's got some nice stuff in his kit. Natural MP recovery, 100% charm resistance, which kind of is going to boost him, in my opinion, to being one of the top, if not the top breaker in the game. He has some AoE MP recovery and fills his own limit burst gauge. He has an 8-hit light physical attack, which debuffs for light resistance 50%. So, if that doesn't say that it's 8 hits at 6 frames, but it's even close, then it can chain with some people, which a lot of people love Orin because he can chain and debuff, so Edgar seems to be kind of insane. He has a lot of strong debuffs in his kit. He has ways to actually give Machine Killer to other units in your party. He also has natural dual wield and bonuses for equipping dual wield, but he also has 50% true dual hand, so you can kind of build him either way. Natural Machine Killers, natural breaks and buffs, and then we get into his debuffs. He can debuff a single target 4 turns, defense of 60%, and either water or earth resistance of 85%. Both of those are very nice. Water especially, I believe, again, if you have Satan. And I might be wrong about that, but I'm not a Satan user. I'm sure somebody will correct me. Double use of his abilities. Equipping his own TMR gives him 100% damage extra to machines, because this guy really hates machines. Limit burst fill rate, which again, we'll talk about that in a second. 2 more limit burst crystals per turn. Very good. Now, available turn 1, 10 turn cooldown. This is one of his big ones. 3 turn, 74% full break, which is 74%, pretty damn high for a debuff. Also debuffs water and earth resistance of 100% and gives himself a 3-turn limit burst fill rate of 100%. He has a cooldown on 4 turns, available turn 4, 1750% AoE 30 hit physical attack, ignoring 50% defense at 4 frames, so it's Lunaris style, but it does hurt him 81% damage. That might be important. We'll talk about that in just a second. He also has another cooldown which gives him some extra abilities, extra Machine Killer, and an AoE limit burst fill rate of 200%, so that's great for the entire party. Now, those abilities that he unlocks are basically some 70% debuffs, I believe. Let me just double check that real quick. The last thing I would want to do to any of you guys is lie. Unless I could get away with it. No, he does. So that ability unlocks his both of his AoE debuffs for 2 turns, as well as a bigger 8-hit light attack, as well just a 3-turn 400% AoE light physical delay of turn attack too. So it hits, chains, and does damage after the fact, which is kind of cool. And a few others, including an AoE 70% MP limit burst fill, or 70 MP fill. God, it's hard to speak. And a self limit burst fill of 6 crystals. Now, again, for this guy, same as his brother. For decreasing his HP below 20%, you get a upgraded limit burst. And what does that upgraded limit burst go to? Well, maxed out a 3300% AoE 30-hit physical hit. So I'm guessing it's Lunara hits, although I'm not 100% sure on that, but 30 hits seems suspicious on that. Kind of makes sense, given what his what's the thing I'm looking for? His other ability, being Lunara's Gianting. So if it is, that's insane. 2-turn AoE debuff of 84% full break. So basically Edgar kind of works on this stacking thing. You know, first turn you open with debuffing with his initial cooldown ability. And, you know, that's fine. That'll give a 74% debuff to a single target for multiple turns. Then you go into using his ones that are off his other cooldown on about turn 4, and then, you know, anytime you can, you basically are using his limit burst, doing a ton of damage, and also 84%. Now, problem here is, you know, he's not going to be outputting as much damage, but he is a dual wield, so that is something to be considered when he is using his abilities. So what do I think of this banner? Well, I think this banner is, again, just unfortunately really damn solid. I think that Celeste and Setzer still have value. Celeste maybe more because her TMR didn't get nerfed heavy nerfed on future content. Edgar is a absolutely solid debuffer, if not probably one of the best debuffers in the game. He has some really high attack options. His kit kind of works in with itself to get him going on his limit burst, and then he just debuffs for a really high percentage of it, you know. So long as you can keep him going on his limit burst, and 32 crystals isn't particularly that difficult. Sabin I think pairs really nicely with the top attack damage dealers in the game right now, both because of the elements as well as just being able to access triple cast fairly easily and having a pretty damn strong limit burst to go with it. So yeah, I'm going to give this banner a pretty nice little thumbs up. Better than I thought it would be. I would say that both of them are really good and absolutely amazing if you can, every 2 turns, get their HP down below 20%. And, you know, there are some pretty high damage dealing trials out there. With that being said, if you have Axstar, if you've been going on a lot of the recent top tier units, like for instance, if you have Axstar, if you have Orin, if you have even CG Lit or the CG units, the CG Beach units, I mean, then this one's probably a pretty safe one to skip. But at the same time, I wouldn't necessarily be unhappy to get either of these units. I think they're pretty damn top tier. I think that somebody's out there is going to come out with a really awesome Sabin destroying a ton of content. Just 2 7-star Sabins that have been maxed out and everything, and that's not going to be me this time. But hey, somebody out there might do it. The step up banner this time, I would say, is kind of confusing. First of all, step 1, nothing really that interesting. Step 2, 1.5 times limit burst rate. Okay, I mean, okay. Guarantee crit rainbow on step 3. 2 20% tickets. So we're not getting a single 30% anymore, we're getting 2 20%, which I would say is generally worse, so I'm not super happy about this, because 2 20%, you have a worse odds of just getting a rainbow, and if you are hitting 2 20s, probably not going to happen. And then you're guaranteed 5-star on step 5. Like for Final Fantasy VI fans, if you're a fan of Edgar and the Figaro brothers, I think you got really, really, you know, just an absolutely awesome thing here. I would say that it is just a generally very, 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 very strong banner. And if you're not in the market, I think you're okay to pass, but definitely don't feel bad if you get either of these units. Just trying to get some bonus units for this one, because it is a mod game. And of course, we will have our monthly, you know, go through, here's all of our nice little bonuses this month. And do my eyes deceive me? Yes, they do. Oh no, there is a guaranteed 5-star ticket on the 20th of the month, so just make sure that you are logging in every day in September. Not that I would ever say that you shouldn't be doing anyway. And of course, the weapon banner, or the weapon enhancement banner, will return. This time it looks like we have swords, bows, hammers, and projectiles. Projectiles might be nice if you were lucky enough to get Yuffie's Super TMR recently. And I have to say, bows, I'm actually kind of excited about bows, because it looks like bows got a 35% magic rare ability. Ooh, gotta get those on both of my Runeara's bows. But other than that, just a whole bunch of other minor stuff to note about this event. First of all, you'll notice that the all unit has been added, so this way it makes it easier to find where your TMR Moogles are, for those of you who are not fluent in Japanese. And the other thing you'll note is this, a power rating. Basically, the stronger your team is, the better your equipment you have, the bigger your EP, the higher your number. I think the highest I've seen posted so far is over 100,000. This is not necessarily my best team or the best equipment I have right now, so, you know, my EP gets a little bit bigger, if you know what I mean. But yes, that's basically kind of the important things to really note and mention about. The only other thing was kind of a little bit of a disappointment, which was the Trust Coin. Looks like we have some new crystals in. I haven't actually looked who they are yet, but we have quite a few more, so that is good news for people who are looking for specific units. And basically just kind of refreshed a whole bunch of other stuff, and we didn't see a really big increase in, decrease in cost or increase in number of other things that are available, so pretty small little refresh. But yes, that is basically the update, and I would say, yeah, Final Fantasy VI got a really good banner, even if it wasn't the ones we wanted. God damn it, Alan, just give me my 7 stars less. Anyway, see you next time.